Hello and welcome. Today, for about the next 5 minutes, we're just going to cover a topic that's obviously garnered a lot of interest here recently, and that is the topic of volatility. I think it's important to note that when you measure it historically, that we're experiencing volatility like we've probably never seen in the modern economy. So, I want to talk about volatility as it relates to the long-term impact of sustained volatility in a portfolio. I think that's more important than just sort of the short-term minute-to-minute volatility. I mean, we all know that system where some days the market goes up, some days it goes down. But I'm more concerned about the long-term impact of it. And so this is hopefully a simple review of that. I like to keep things simple. The examples here will use round numbers, and hopefully this will help clear things up for you. So I think the easiest way to explain volatility and its importance in long-term planning is a common mistake that's very easy to make. And I'll use this first slide as that example where if you started with $100,000 and then you lost 10% of that, you would take your 100,000, subtract 10% or 10,000, the result is 90,000. Well, then if you turned right around and gained 10%, you would think, okay, well, I'm back to 100,000. But that's actually not true. It's, again, a very common mistake that people make, but if you think about it and do the math, if you started with 100,000 and you lost 10%, that's 10,000, taking you down to 90. If you then gain 10%, you only gain 10% on the 90,000, bringing you back to 99,000. It's actually been calculated and estimated that on a regular basis, your stock market portfolio or your investments need to return 1.2% more than they lose just to stay even over time. So it's important to note that. And on the next slide, we'll actually compare three different portfolios that have three different levels of volatility so that you can better understand this. So here we have the three different examples of three different portfolios. Now, what is the same about them, obviously, is each portfolio has $100,000. Now, the behavior and interest that $100,000 receives is going to be a little bit different between each portfolio. So let's start with portfolio A. $100,000 goes in. Portfolio A is invested in something that's fixed or relatively boring. And again, I'm using hypothetical examples here. But let's just assume portfolio A is invested in a 5% fixed interest environment. So portfolio A gets 5% in year one, in year two, in year three, in year four, and so on. Just gets 5% every year. Well, that leads to some pretty simple math when you're calculating your average rate of return. Well, it's 5%. If you got 5% every year, then obviously your average would be 5%. More importantly for this discussion, your annualized rate of return, in other words, the actual yield that you received, is also 5%. Because there is no volatility, as you see in that final box there, the volatility of the annual returns is zero. This leads to a net of $162,889.46. So again, slow and steady, just 100,000 goes in and it compounds at 5%. Now let's look at portfolio B. Portfolio B has the same 100,000. Portfolio B, though, has more volatility. It goes up 20%, then down 10, then up 20, then down 10, then up. The catch here is that the average rate of return in portfolio B is also 5%. Because again, you add 20, subtract 10, add 20, subtract 10. After 10 years, that averages 5% for rate of return. But when you break it down to the annualized rate of return, it's actually only a 3.92% compounded rate, yielding a total investment of $146,932.81. Again, portfolio A and portfolio B both averaged 5%, but one of them yielded quite a bit more than the other. Now let's take that over here to portfolio C, and you'll see it even more volatile. This is $100,000 going in and then going up 30, down 20, up 30, down 20, and so on. This one also averages 5%. When you take up all the pluses and minuses and divide by 10, it averages 5%. However, because it is bouncing around so much and because it has such extreme volatility, the annualized rate of return in portfolio C is just under 2%. So the compounding effect of that leaves portfolio C with only $121,665.29. So the important message to take from volatility and its impact over long-term investments is the compounding nature of interest is only in your favor if you are compounding positively. um, compounding can impact you both negatively and positively. So in portfolio A, yeah, it's a little boring. It's slow and steady wins the race, but you've got interest compounding in your favor all the time. Whereas in portfolios B and C, you can see that interest is compounding in your favor sometimes and it's compounding against you in others. And the net result of that obviously is the more volatile your portfolio, many times that leads to a much lower yield over time. So I hope this simplifies things for you a little bit. If you need any more information, you have any questions, comments, concerns, we're happy to talk to anybody one-on-one. You can contact us via the number and contact information listed on our website. Really appreciate you taking some time out. I hope this simplified things for you. Hope everybody is enjoying their day, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.